Hey team. So this video is all about the spine. This is an exercise that I've been using for years with many different clients and pretty much all my clients, and they all get really good results from it and really good feedback in terms of how their spine is feeling on any given day. I call it the wall spinal roll. It's basically just a spinal roll where we start at the base of the spine, we move up to the skull, back to the base of the spine. And the goal of the exercise or the movement is to try and articulate each vertebrae of the spine. So we start at the base of the wall and we try, and if this is my, let's say this is my L5, I try and shift my L5 off the wall, then my L4, then my L3, then my L2, and so on until I get right up to my C1 or atlas and axis right at the top of my skull here, and then we come down, so we go C1, C2, C3, C4. That's the goal. It's not actually that easy. It gets easier over time, but the brilliant thing about it is even after years of doing it, you still can get better at it. You can still try and get those individual vertebrae to move one at a time, even though some of them may not ever do it, or they may take years to do it. When you've had an injury, or you might not have done it for a while, or you might have stiffened up for whatever reason, you can go back to it. You can get a lot of feedback from it to tell you what parts of your spine are stiff, and then you might use that feedback to go away and isolate that part of your spine and work on getting some more movement out of that part of your spine, which we will explore in another video. So I'm going to show you how to do it now. You just watch and learn, and then you try and you do it yourself, and you spend time doing it, and you do it before your workouts, you do it in the morning when you wake up, because the golden rule is you are only as old as your spine. So if you want to move like a young person, or you want to feel younger, move your spine, get your spine moving more, nicer, however you want to word it. And you basically get this freedom of movement in your arms and legs, because what happens is the brain, it's always trying to protect us from injury, especially the part of the brain where our movement comes from. And if the spine is restricted, it will restrict movement to the arms and legs as a form of protection. So if we get our spine moving more, we get more movement for free in these and the legs. So think about it like that. You get your spine moving first, everything else will come a little bit easier. So now at showtime, we're going to learn how to do it. Okay, wall. We come up to the wall, back to the wall to start with, and the main thing is you want the base, the top of your skull where the spine joins the skull on the wall. And then to start with, you want the pelvis. You really want to get as much of your back on the wall as you can. Then the first thing we do from here is I tuck my pelvis. So I like to think of my pelvis being like a bucket of water, and I'm going to tip water out the back of the bucket. And that just pulls the pelvis off the wall, and then I can really feel my lumbar spine pushing into the wall. And then like I did before, one vertebrae at a time, I just start to slowly bring my spine away from the wall. So I get that C7, that big vertebrae at the base of the neck on the wall, and then I pull that off. Then from there, I like to bring my shoulder blades forward. This allows me to get that C7 back on it, and it allows me to really feel the vertebrae in between the shoulder blades. And I get them on the wall, and then I just take my time feeling what's going on as I'm pushing my spine into the wall, one at a time, until the whole spine is flat on the wall. I relax, I go again, I go a little bit quicker, but you really want to go nice and slow, and you want to feel those vertebrae peel off the wall, peel back on. You've really got to use your abs, you've got to suck in to get that bottom rib on the wall and the lumbar spine nice and flat. And you're on. You can hear even there in my breath, I was working quite hard. So that is the wall spinal roll in a nutshell. So before training, in the morning, after training, at night before you go to bed, before you move, any time of the day, you're sitting in the office, you want to move your spine more, get up, find a wall, move it. It is really, really good for you. I cannot emphasize that enough. Enjoy.